Hi, my name is Teresa Koblak, and today is Earth Day. So I thought we would do a nice simple painting of the mountainside. And I'm going to be using a variety of different colors. The colors that I'm using are made by Ranger ink and TREX inks. And we'll go over the colors real quick just so you know where I'm dipping in at. We'll start here. This is Belgium Orange, Sunshine Yellow, and Glacier Blue. Those are all made by the TREX company. And then we are going to be using Boysenberry, Gumball, Mojito, and Laguna. And a little bit of pitch black, but I keep my pitch black in a separate container. And those are all made by Ranger ink. And then in my little bowl here, I have some 99% alcohol, and what we'll be painting on today is the craft plastic, and I just cut mine down to the size that I would like. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started here. I am just going to drip a little bit of that 99% alcohol into my tray and loosen up my inks. And if you don't have the 99%, you can use 91%. And I'm just going to start with that yellow and just going to bring it in. Clean off my brush a little. I'm going to grab a little bit of that Belgium orange. I'm putting a little on the bottom, little on top. Dip into a little bit of the alcohol. Clean off my brush. Let's grab a little of that Gumball. And these do work really nice together, so if you haven't used the two inks together, they do play well together. A little bit of that 99% alcohol. And I'm going to go ahead and put a little more orange down here. I'm going to give my paper just a little tip. That helps my sky move, and I like the look of it. One more time, just give it a little tip. And bring it back down. Let's go ahead and put ourselves some mountains in. I'm going to go ahead and grab a little bit of that Laguna. Let the inks do the work for you. Clean off my brush. We'll go ahead and grab a little bit of that Glacier. Keeping it really loose. Grab a little more Glacier. Gonna grab a little bit of that Boysenberry. Keeping my brush loose, nice light strokes. Go ahead and grab a little bit of that Mojito. And I think we'll go ahead and make this a water scene. So the edge of my water. I'm going to first go back and grab a little bit of that Laguna. Cleaned off my brush. Clean it off one more time, just a clean brush. Grab a little bit of that Glacier blue. I'm just working side to side. Clean down my brush really nice. I'm gonna pick up a little bit of that pink just because I want to bring that pink reflection down into the water. And clean down my brush. Go ahead and pick up a little bit of that orange. Clean brush, just a tiny bit of alcohol on it, barely touching the page. Grab a little bit of that yellow, that's that sunshine yellow. Just barely touching the page. Clean down my brush, just the alcohol on my brush. We'll go ahead and finish off the bottom here. I'm going to bring a little more of that Glacier blue in. Grab a little bit of the Mojito. Sometimes you'll see me not dip into the alcohol cleaning down my brush. I've gotten used to knowing if there's really any ink on my brush, if I need to worry about dipping in to a color or not. Just bringing a little of that Laguna over here. Go ahead and grab some of that Boysenberry. Clean down my brush. Picked up a little green. Again, a little more Boysenberry. And go ahead and grab a little bit of pink, a little bit of that Gumball. And just some alcohol. Just splotching those colors together. A little Mojito. So if I had some brown laid out, I could use that. This works just fine. I like having the colors come from the sky down. Little Laguna. Clean off my brush. Pick up a little more of that Gumball. Just making a rocky area. Just letting the inks do their thing. They're moving. Just watching what they do. Clean down my brush. Just come back in and give it a few taps here and there. I'm going to pull some grass up between the rocks. On the edge of my shoreline. Just adding a touch of alcohol to that and actually going to tap it down because it would be quite wet. Good little painting for Earth Day. Just kind of looking around, seeing if I want to change things. Just adding a little bit of green here and there. Edge of my brush. I'm going to grab a little bit of that Laguna. Just work on my shoreline just a tiny bit. And I'm going to grab a little bit of that purple. Grab a little more of that purple. Just working on that shoreline. Looks like a nice sunny day there. It's a little cloudy here in Michigan, cloudy and cold. So, the sunshine is good on our painting. We'll go ahead and throw in a couple little trees. And I keep some 99% alcohol. I recycle my bottles and just put that alcohol in there. And that way I can loosen up my inks. We'll go ahead and put ourselves a little tree in there. I just kind of jig-jog my pine trees. They're all different, so you just kind of squiggle those little lines in there. Wipe down my brush, make sure I don't have too much ink on there. And of course I wiped it down too much. Thought I had more on there. Make this tree a little bit smaller. Just dipping into the side of my container. I always keep my pitch black in a separate container. And I'm going to add just a couple more drips of alcohol, just to loosen it up on the bottom there. Loosen it up on the bottom there. I don't want it too thin so it runs across the page, but I also don't want it too thick so I can actually paint with it. I'll do another tree here. Bring it down. And if your tree gets too carried away, just make it a little taller. So I need to bring this down a little bit more. Just jog it in there. I think we'll go ahead and add a couple trees over on this side too. Or maybe right here. I always like to do an odd number on my trees when I'm doing them. An odd number usually looks best. Kind of like that. Yeah, maybe we'll make some little bushes right here. Just bring those down into the water. Maybe some little bushes over on this side. Bring those down into the water. And now we're gonna come back to our rocks now that they dried down a little. And we're just gonna add a little bit of black in there. Just here and there. Just have the ink, no alcohol yet. Just kind of looking where I want to add a little more shadow. And then for my grassy areas, just gonna pull it up a little bit in there. Clean down my brush. Make sure your brush is good and clean. And we're going to come back very little alcohol on our brush. We're just going to splotch in just here and there. Grab a tiny bit of that pink. Got a little too much black on that one. There we go. I think we should put ourselves a couple little birds up in the sky. And go ahead and put another drop or two. And I just move it around in there. Again, like I said, this is the only black that I use in this little container. It is the pitch black, so I always have to loosen it up. Go ahead and put our birds about right here. I'm going to do that a nice big bird. Has a nice wide open sky there. Here we go, a nice simple painting for Earth Day. Well, I hope this tutorial was helpful to you, and if so, give me a thumbs up. That's all I need from you, and if you could subscribe. That's just helpful to my channel and lets me know that you'd like to see more of my tutorials. So there we go. A nice Earth Day painting. So I hope you have a great rest of your day, and you can see more of my work on Instagram. Happy painting!